Hey y'all, I'm Taria. Welcome to this video. This is the video for the Asian Read-a-thon that's happening this month. It's hosted by Cindy from With Cindy. I was real excited whenever this was announced because for the past couple of years, most of the books that I've read have been by white authors. And so I made a specific effort this year to make sure that I read more authors of color, and I still have failed pretty badly at it so far. So I'm so happy for this readathon. I'm gonna put the little prompts up somewhere over here, maybe over here. And I'm only gonna read 2 books because at the beginning of this month I was in such a slump. I really wanted to read like all Asian authors this month, but it just didn't happen. But anyway, what I did decide to read was this one, which I do not know how to pronounce. And yes, I have looked it up. But I got 2 like vastly different versions of how to pronounce this title, but it's been one of my most anticipated reads of the year. As someone whose favorite book is Circe, someone who's been stereotypically seen as kind of evil, and then actually giving them kind of this backstory that gives you a lot of sympathy and you just view things in a different way. And I've only gotten a few pages into this, but I think I'm gonna really like it. And then the other book is Confessions by Kanae Minato, I think. I'll put the little picture up here. And this one, I am 50% of the way through, and it's crazy. I almost actually gave up on it on the first chapter because I felt like the writing style was weird. Like I felt very distant from the narrator, but it did pick up in what a first chapter it was. This is basically, like, it starts off with this teacher who's telling her students that she's going to retire because of the recent death of her daughter. She's talking to her students. Her students are like 13 years old or so. And for whatever reason, I thought this book was about like a college professor, but maybe I got it mixed up with something else. And then each chapter has like a different perspective, but I'm telling you, I wish I could just tell you, but it would be a spoiler. But this book so far has been really amazing, and it's really picked up for me, and I can see how everybody else thinks that it's a really amazing book. And this author is Japanese, and the story takes place in Japan. It was actually translated from Japanese to English. And this one is I believe a Hindu deity, and the author, I believe, is Indian. I'm actually gonna go have some sesame ginger tofu to kind of bring in the Asian marathon vibes, or Asian readathon vibes. But anyway, just stay tuned in this video. So I'm about ready to call it quits for the night. I got 70% into Confessions, and where we had left off at, it was a lot more interesting because of the person's perspective that we were getting. Like, being in that person's head it was just really interesting. Basically, that person was just offering their perspective on the events that we've already seen. And now we're in a different person's head, and they're also offering a slightly different perspective on what we've already seen through the first 3 chapters. So it's starting to feel pretty repetitive now, and like there's a certain way that you could put multiple different perspectives and kind of have them layer upon each other and fit different pieces of the puzzle, but I felt like this chapter was kind of unnecessary. But I'm not done with it yet. I still have like 25 pages left in that chapter on the ebook. But then after that, there's just one more chapter. No, there's just 2 more chapters, but one of them is really short. So hopefully I can finish it tonight. I stayed up all night just making TikToks and reading, so, you know, hard work. But anyway, see you guys later. So this is my 3rd time filming. No, it's like my 4th time filming this clip right here to tell you that I finished Confessions and I have given it 3 stars, and that's not bad. It's not bad, but I did want more from the story. That first chapter was so strong, and the subsequent chapters after that just kept feeling repetitive. They would be about the same events from the previous chapter or chapters, but just from a different person's perspective. There's, I think, 5 perspectives in the story, and I really only cared for the first chapter and the final chapter, and I wish everything else in the middle had been a lot more condensed. But yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I did enjoy it. It's a short little book. The chapters are long, but the overall length of the book is pretty short. And I also heard that there is a movie adaptation, so that might be something that you guys want to check out. But other than that, I'm really excited to start on this one. I feel like this is just gonna be a 5-star, and it is compared to Circe, which is my favorite book, which does just like heighten my expectations of it a lot more, but in a way that's really exciting. So hopefully it's a 5-star. I feel like if it's anything less than a 5-star, it's gonna be like slightly disappointing to me, just because I'm building it up so much. But yeah, I just love this. I love the way this cover looks and how shiny, how reflective it is. I love that. You guys will hear from me whenever I have an update about this book. Hey, we're checking in to say that I am making really good progress with the book, and I was able to get a hold of the audiobook in a very legal way. And so in the audiobook, they keep saying her name, Kaikeyi. So that's what I'm gonna say, Kaikeyi. That's pretty easy to pronounce. But anyway, I went for a run yesterday, and as I was jogging past these horses, it was a cool scene that Kaikeyi was with some horses, and so I felt like we was the same. Today, I went to the pool and just had tons of fun with the kids, and I'm going to now settle down, read some more of the book. I've gotten a little over 30% of the way through, and I'm really liking it so far. There was a nice, intense battle scene. I'm connecting with the characters. I'm finding the characters to actually be pretty likable overall. And the story is pretty immersive as well. So yeah, I have no complaints at all.
No, Mama. No, Mama.
Mama?
No, Mama.
Say Tia?
Dada.
Tia?
Dada.
Tia?
Mm.
Say hello. What color is your shirt?
Pink.
Say pink.
Pink. Pink. Pink.
Hey guys, so I did finish Kaikeyi, and this was a really fun read for me. I can definitely see where it draws comparison to Circe. It has a lot of emotional depth, a lot of character depth, and I find her writing to be very descriptive, and it is very beautiful. I do prefer the writing in Circe, but this is a debut, and for a debut I feel like it was amazing, and I feel like this author most certainly has potential, and I am pretty sure I will be reading her other books, especially if they talk about mythology, because I liked being in the world. I felt this book was really accessible. I do wish that I would have taken notes, because at the beginning of this book there's like a page where it talks about the major characters, but even sometimes with this page I would get confused, and so I would go in here to see like who's who and then read the descriptions and get little spoilers for myself, which I really hated that. So I wish I would have just taken my own notes on it. And then some characters weren't on there as well. which I guess they didn't end up being main characters or major characters. And then I also would have liked to take some notes on just the way that the world works and some of the locations that they would talk about. So like I said, I can definitely see where this draws comparisons to Circe, but I actually feel like it's a little bit closer to, it's like Ariadne by Jennifer Saint and Circe by Madeline Miller. It kind of meets right in the middle. I feel like the three books follow a good amount of similarities that I would recommend all of them to anyone. But of course, those books are Greek mythology, and this one is a Indian mythology retelling. I liked the character Kaikeyi. I liked her motivations and her decision making. I liked a lot of the characters in the story. My main takeaway is like, men ain't shit. Men are the problem. Men only look out for themselves, and it doesn't matter who you are to them, how close you are to them, they will uphold the patriarchy at all costs. And that's what made this book so infuriating, but in a very real way, because it felt authentic. And although I haven't been through anything that Kaikeyi went through in this book, and the average woman doesn't, I feel like we can all relate to that. Like, we've all seen stories, and not even just like recent stories, but just throughout time, where women are kind of the most punished, even if they shouldn't be. This book definitely explores sexism in a very outright way. My problem with it is, and it's not a big problem, it's just that it's a bit too long. Everything that this book does very well, like exceptionally well, Circe does that much better, and in about 100 fewer pages. So if you look, and so Circe is like 390 something pages, and this one's like 470 something pages, and I prefer things to be a little bit more condensed down. This had a good amount of description for what it is, and it didn't feel either too short or too long. This one just felt like it dragged out a little bit for me. I can definitely see why it has high praise. I am so excited to look forward to more of this author's works. I always am excited, like when it's a debut author, but especially a author of color that I really like, that I can look forward to reading some of their future works. I think that she has promise. What's her name? Vaishnavi Patel. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but she has amazing potential. And look how stunning this is. I should like display this on my shelves. Yeah, that concludes this video on the Asian Read-a-thon. I feel like it wasn't that good. I don't know. I feel like I've made little reading vlogs that have been a little bit better. But anyway, this one will be a little short video. Let me know if you liked it or not. And thank you so much for watching.